Well, Mr. Griffin, why don't we start with your family and growing up? And I know that your mother was from Marietta, but your father was from Ackworth. And so why don't you talk about your parents, first of all?
Well, like I say, my father's Ackworth, mother Marietta. They met, and once they were married, we happened to have two churches because we went to actually this church here most of the time, but periodically we went to the other church, which was my uncle's church. So we had two churches, and you really say we had church every day. You know,
What was the other church?
Galilee Baptist in Marietta.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that? I don't know Galilee Baptist in Marietta. Is it still there?
It's still there. It's an older church. It's kind of hard to find. It's can't think of the mountain now, but it's lost on that one. But it's in Marietta, Galilee Baptist, and it's Blackjack Mountain, just the mountain under the church
so
there.
Outside of Marietta. Yeah, a little bit east of Marietta.
Yes. So we climbed it quite often. We got I'm just talking. We got some funds. When we were young kids, back going up into the mountain, there was a horse place up there where they rented out horses.
Right.
And some of the guys couldn't ride very well. So as they ride, they would jog out money on the trail. So we always went up and followed the trail. We didn't ride in the horses, we just picked up the money. We was probably about 10 years old, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something.
I just heard a talk the other day that during World War I, they shelled the army for training was firing on Blackjack Mountain. They were shelling the mountain. There may still be some live shells there. Did you ever see any shells up there?
We never saw any shells, no, but we was up there quite often.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, my uncle, they was on one side of the mountain, the lower side, and we always climbed up the mountain.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
What did your father do for a living?
he worked on the railroad. He was a railroad lineman, I guess you call it. He repaired tracks and things. Sometimes he didn't get home for a couple of days, just depending on where they had to go. Sometimes we was really happy to see him when he worked in the area. We'd go up there and take him a sandwich or something, because everything was done by hand then, you know, the sledgehammers and nailing the rails down and putting the cross tires in. But he did that for quite some time, yeah.
What about your mother? Did she work outside the home at all?
No, she was what you call it, working other people's homes.
Domestic?
Domestic. Yeah, that was her basic. And after that, she was, I guess, maintenance in Kennestone Hospital.
Oh, really? Okay. So that was right after you were born then, I guess.
After I was born.
Because Kennestone didn't open until after you were born. Where were you born, by the way?
The hospital was Kennestone.
Oh, you were born in Kennestone?
Yes, Marietta.
Okay. And what year was that?
1949.
Okay. And you lived in Ackworth all the time? Have you lived in Ackworth all your life?
Basically in Ackworth, I've moved out for a short time, but then I'm come back to Ackworth. I was married, and that was the first marriage. And after that, from Marietta, moved back to Ackworth.
So Marietta or Ackworth the whole time?
Yes.
Did you go to the Roberts School?
Went to the Roberts School. That was matter of fact, at that time, I was hating to go to school because we were having to go to school in an old community center. That was the school at the time.
The old, what today's the community center.
Community
was the
center, yes.
Rosenwald School?
Yes.
You actually went to the Rosenwald?
I didn't go there, but I was going to have to go the next year.
And you didn't want to?
I didn't want to. I wanted to go to a new school, and just so happened they built Roberts at the time. And I started school there.
Okay. But you didn't want to go to the old school.
I didn't want to go to the old school.
Which really wasn't that
Probably
old.
as a kid, I didn't want to go to any school.
Oh, I see. Okay. But it was nice to go to a brand new school.
It was really something because it was kind of crowded in the other school there in Rosenwald. But there was more amenities there, and we thought it was great. Yeah. And now we see all the stuff that's out there now.
Yeah, yeah.
It just keep getting greater and greater.
Mm-hmm. Talk about the Roberts School. Do you remember any of your teachers?
There was the principal, Mr. Harton. He was kind of comical. He was acting like one of the students. He was always communicating and joking with the kids and stuff. And he wasn't. There was a harsh type.
Was not
principal. No. And all the teachers were good teachers. Of course, they had to bear down on us a little bit to get us to do what we needed to do. But they was all, I would say, great teachers. It was a good place. And it period, I don't know what year it was now, but when transferred from the black school, that's when integration and we started at the white school, which was North Cobb.
Oh, okay, so you went from Roberts to North Cobb. And North Cobb opened...
Well, not from Roberts to North Cobb. That was a Marietta High School. And from that school...
You went from Roberts to Marietta High School?
Yeah, after graduation.
What year would that have been?
Gosh, I can't give you the exact year on that right off the top of my head.
Okay. What year, do you know what year you graduated from high school?
I can't even get those years off my head.
Okay. Well, I know that North Cobb opened in 1959. And did you go to Marietta High School or did you go to Lemon Street?
No, I went to Lemon Street.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Yeah, just saying Marietta, was in Marietta, but went to Lemon Street.
Okay. Well, let me see. Did you graduate in a class of 1960 maybe, at North Cobb? How many years did you go to North Cobb High School?
Went to North Cobb, I'm thinking 3 years. 3 years, so
maybe 62?
So I'm not really particularly sure on that.
Oh, my math may be off. You're born in 49, so, I'm way off on my math. So that would have been, were you 18? You'd have been 18 about 1967, I guess. Yeah. Right?
Well, 18 was when I finished.
Yeah. School. So if you were born in 49, 18 years from that would be 67. Okay. Okay. So you went to Lemon Street 1 year, Lemon Street High 1 year maybe, and then North Cobb 3.
I went to Lemon Street. Okay, we'll go with that.
No, you think it's different?
No. I'm just thinking that because I have a little remembering some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But
at any rate, you went from Roberts School when you started through the 8th grade at Roberts School, I guess. Right, and then started at Lemon Street High School.
Lemon Street.
Back when the county was paying the tuition for people from the county to go to school there, and then went to North Cobb. I know the last year that people from the county could go to Lemon Street would have been 65, 66 school year, and then the last year Lemon Street was open was 66, 67, but they weren't paying the tuition that year. So that would, certainly by then you would have been going to North Cobb.
Well, I did my last 2 high school years was North Cobb.
Last 2 high school years, North Cobb. Tell me first of all about Lemon Street High School. Did you play on sports teams, play in the band, do any extracurricular activities?
I really didn't do any extra activities at Lemon Street.
How did you get down there?
Bus.
There was a bus?
Yeah, we got bus from Atworth to Lemon Street.
Okay. How many kids rode the bus down?
In my area there was 4, I believe.
4?
Yeah.
And they had some other stops?
They picked up, Kennesaw and on down.
Yeah. So how many would be on the bus by the time you got there?
From that area, maybe roughly 10.
What time did you have to get up in the morning to get there riding that bus?
Well, we actually always got up about 6 o'clock because that was when my parents got us up, so we wouldn't miss school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember any of the teachers at Lemon Street?
That was a Miss Dye, spelled D-Y-E. Gosh, my mind just goes blank all the time.
I've heard. Did she teach English?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Did you take any history classes?
I took history. Didn't like it,
Didn't.
but I had to take it, and I passed it. The principal was also the history teacher, and gosh, I can't even think of his name.
Well, let me see. At that time, was it Huff? He may have been gone, but
No, it wasn't her.
oh, what was his name? I can't think right now. I know who you're talking about.
Gosh, I'm sorry. Stuff just slips my mind.
I'll probably come back to me later on too.
Yeah, but gosh, probably later on.
Did you like it at Lemon Street?
I liked Lemon Street, but I didn't like the work. I was one of those kids. I had to do the work because I couldn't go home, and not be blistered. But I made it through.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was North Cobb High School?
North Cobb, it was different there at first. I was actually first of two. That was myself and a young lady named Beulah Thomas. We were the first two there that first year. And we got stairs, and walking down the hall, people would shy away from us. And,
Really?
yeah, so we kind of was stuck in one little area there. We took lunch and all that together.
You and Beulah?
Yeah. And we have the whole table together.
They would still?
No.
How did you feel about that?
Well, I had a talk with my mom and dad, and they said, pay no attention, do what you got to do, and things will get better. And I guess they were right, because things got better. And, with the situation, they had to get used to us, and we had to get used to them, different races, and hadn't mingled before so much. I mean, we had in my youth, playing with white kids or whatever, that was something we got along very well. That was one of my best friends. But, sometimes things go like, sometimes it's peer pressure that causes people to do one thing which they really don't want to do. But eventually, it worked out pretty well. Yeah, we like the year after that, I guess, that getting used to year, it was.
I would bet that was the year of 1965, 66 that you're describing, because that's really the start of freedom of choice in the county that year.
Yeah, that's right. And I was. When my mom asked me if I wanted to go, and I just said, I might as well, because we're gonna have to sooner or later, so I might as well get used to it now. But I know there were just gonna be two of us at the time.
Right.
But it still worked out well.
What about the next year? How many black students were there?
It's pretty crowded then. Just that year, everybody was having to come into the school.
So there are more of them. How many more?
I don't know exactly how many, but it was everybody lived in that area. That's where they went.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you engage in any kind of athletics or anything, band or anything at North Cobb High School?
I did football.
You did?
Yeah.
What position did you play?
End. Yeah. I was mediocre.
Really?
Yeah. I think I play better now than I did then.
Well, you were probably pretty small for an end.
I wasn't no heavyweight, but yeah. But that was the position I was given, and we had to go out and go in the locker room, find uniforms that would fit, and some of them wasn't fitting as well as they should, but we had to get what we had.
How were you treated on the football team?
I got treated pretty good on the football team. Actually, great. We all got along well. Yeah.
Who was the coach at that time?
What was the coach? Name me a coach.
Carden?
No. Gosh.
Oh, what was Sewell?
Sewell, he was the head, but there was the other coach that I was familiar with, but I can't think of his name. But
Carden, what I was trying to think of. Maybe it was.
Yeah. So I'm
yeah.
I'm just kind of off on that.
Yeah. But did you get to start any of the games? Were you a first team or?
I wasn't the starter, but I got into the game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wasn't real up on the game, and I got in there because some of my friends that I had made, they was playing football, and I seen that was the best match for me. But I didn't realize it wasn't like sandlot ball, and I had to learn about football. So that kind of threw me off there for a while. But
did that help break down any barriers that you got to know the guys on the football team?
Yeah, at that time, it got to be, which based on my last year, we played decent together. Actually, we were pretty good together then. But I still wasn't a great football player.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were talking about playing with the white kids while you were growing up. Could you talk a little bit about what you did for fun while you were growing up in Ackworth?
Well, in Ackworth, we would just in the neighborhood, like you said. Yeah, we played at a ball field, which it wasn't a real ball field, but it was a cleared area that we used. And we played there. Nobody, it was just an open field, and any place we could find, we could play there. But
and both white and black kids would get together and play?
Usually just black. Yeah, at that time. That was a periodically, white kid to come along. We knew a few. One was a good friend of mine named Billy. I can't think of his last name, but yeah. But we got together pretty often.
Did you go into town very much? To downtown area?
We would go into downtown area actually pretty often, but you could still feel that hint of light segregation.
Sure.
Yeah. So it wasn't as bad as some of the others that I always see stuff on TV that was really bad.
Yeah.
But we never had that kind of relationship.
When did you go to the theater?
Went to the theater.
Did you have to sit in a different place?
We sit in the back, and we came through the back.
Okay.
And we sit in the back at the top.
Okay.
That was.
So there was a special entrance in the back of the theater that you had to go through?
Yeah.
And the back and top, like a balcony, or maybe there wasn't.
There wasn't a balcony, but we just had to go to the top. It was like the regular theater, but we had to go to
the seats were going.
Yeah.
Not level, but
not level, right.
The building.
Right.
Went up, theater style.
So we had to go up and come through the back, go up to the top.
What did you think about that at the time?
At the time, it was not appreciated, but kind of selling it doing that. My dad always said, don't start anything, do what you have to do without any confusion. So, of course, we wanted to see the movie, so we did that. And didn't have any problem with that, and everybody was adjusted to going to their sections or whatever.
Is there any place you could go and get a soda pop or a hamburger or anything?
Yeah, that was okay. We could do that at the concession stand. Yeah, so. we didn't have any problem with that.
And what about the stores around town?
They were fairly decent. I mean, sometimes if a white customer come in and we already there, black guys, they would take them first. Not all the time, but sometimes that would happen with certain stores. Yeah. Yeah, that was it's just one comical thing. They lady was at the store. My mom was looking at some dresses, and the lady, I won't call the name or anything, but she was telling my mom how good this lipstick would look on her. And she got a duck. It was that black. She rubbed some red lipstick on it to show her how good it was looking. It ticked my mom off terribly. You know.
I guess so.
But I mean, like now, the way things are now, that it's so much better. We look at that stuff and kind of laugh about it, but you remember it. Because it was, you wonder how could people treat people so differently at times. But then you look at sometimes your same color do the same thing. So maybe not to the same magnitude a lot of the.
Well, tell me about Zion Hill.
Zion Hill.
How old is this building that we're in?
Good grief.
Is this the same building that you attended when you were a child?
I used to sit right there. My dad was a deacon.
In the front row? You sat in the front row?
We had to sit in the front
now,
row.
Was that a section for the choir, or was that where the deacons sat up in the front here?
Well, I'm assuming that
Or the mothers?
the mothers was in the area. They was always available, and my place here was, well, I'll tell you how small it was. My feet wouldn't touch the floor. Me and my brother, we sit there. We had to stay in that spot because we could not disturb anything going on in the church.
Oh, so you were on the front row where everybody could see you.
Everybody, especially my dad, he was a deacon here, so he was right up here. He could see us. My mom, we had to be on guard. Yeah, but it was good training. Yeah, but yeah, we enjoyed it. We had at that time we had a lot going on in the church. The churches here and also with Bethel was somewhat united. Because, well, I say united because in first Sunday, second Sunday, first Sunday, third Sunday was Bethel. The whole black community went to Bethel, and the other Sundays that we was here. So it went like that because they didn't have really enough people to fill both congregations, so they just kind of split the churches up, and you went here and went there. So different congregations went to different churches on each Sunday. And then
how did that work out? You were Baptist, they were Methodist. Did you feel like there just wasn't any difference, or was there a big difference?
I really didn't feel any difference. There might have been a few things in say, the communion, something like that. But no, they was all friends and family. So it was just, we in church. So it really didn't matter.
What about Sunday school? Did you go there for Sunday school the first and third weeks, or did you just go to church service there and have Sunday school?
No, same Sunday schools, church.
So Methodists and Baptists were going to Sunday school together and church together.
Yeah, and it was quite a while after that when they finally just split up and got a bigger congregation at the time.
Got big enough to have a full-time pastor.
Yeah, so we still, when there's an event or something, we still do the same. You know, we go to them, they come to us, and whatever.
How long did a church service go back then, when you were growing up?
Well, when I was growing up, they went for 10 hours.
10 hours?
It seemed. Seemed like it was never going to end, but it was like maybe 2 hours. Sometimes maybe 2.5, 2 hours, something like that.
About the same as today?
Yeah, we had I think they preach a little different.
Talk about that.
Well, it was like they were really want to get the point across. They were the little loud voice and they come through the aisle. They might still do that. It just, yeah. But they got the point across. They want to feed God to us, and they did whatever they thought was necessary.
So
And it worked. That really kept our attention. The deep voices, because if not, some of the kids would just doze off and not pay attention. But when you came down with that rough voice, they would look at you.
And the pastor would come down out of the pulpit and down the aisle?
Yeah. They would do that. They'd come down. Not all of them do that, but a lot of them. And I liked it when they did that. It was like entertaining too. Because they would come down, they walk the aisle, and they get really loud and preach, which some of them do now still. But we really enjoyed going to church, because I guess when you have to do something so often, it just gets programmed into your brain, and you go to church.
You remember any of the pastors over the years? Any that stayed a long time?
The longest I can remember is Reverend Brown. That was the last preacher there, pastor. He's passed away now. Yeah, but he was very good preacher, and he was also a good entertainment, because we loved to hear him sing. He could sing, and he loved to sing too, and that was kind of, I guess they break the monotony of just sitting there all the time.
Now, where did the choir sit?
The choir, that's up back here.
Okay. Is there enough room back there for a choir?
Well, yeah, for our church, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
How big was the choir?
Oh, gosh. Whoever got up there, I know. It wasn't like a huge choir. But that was a decent area, and some very, I consider talented singers. They do something that we just really love to hear sing. And we basically just young kids in church.
Were you a good singer?
No. No. I didn't sing with them, but they probably would have set me down anyway. I could not carry a tune.
Would they fill the church back then for a Sunday morning service?
The church would be full. It would be full. Even we have an event where one church is having an event. The churches from all over would show up. It'll used to be packed all the time. And even when we get chances to go to other churches, especially my family, you had to go to church. My aunts, they had to come. They would always take us. My uncle, like I said, he was a preacher in Marietta, so we was
at Galilee.
So we was always having church.
What was your uncle's name?
Charlie Clemens. Clemens. Yeah. He worked at old Spayberry School as janitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun at Spayberry School too.
Did you?
Yeah, we'd go in there, and at that time, when the guys wasn't playing ball, we'd try to shoot the ball.
Now you're talking about the Sprayberry that's on US 41. That's Walker School now.
Yeah, that's the old school. Yes, Walker School now, but that was the Sprayberry School at the time. So he was a janitor there, so we got to go up there a lot. So we loved to play ball.
Did you ever go to the beach, Ackworth Beach?
It was quite some time before we went to the beach.
You couldn't go to the beach?
Well, could, but I wasn't a swimmer.
I see. What about the Carver Park up in Bartow County on Lake Allatoona? Did you ever go up there?
Yeah, I went up there quite often, Carver Park. We had an area that was the area that the blacks went, and the whites went on the other.
And so you like to go up there?
Yeah, we'll go up there quite often. Sometimes we catch a bus. We would walk from Atworth. I didn't, but from the city of Atworth to the beach, which was quite a distance.
They walked up there?
They walked.
But you never did?
I never walked.
That's a long walk.
That's a long walk. That's why I never walked. But later on, I got my first little car, and I would pick some up on the road or something like that to bring them home.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they would walk.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah, 'cause they love to swim.
did the church look the same, say 50 years ago that it looks now inside here?
Pretty much so.
Pretty much.
I think the windows are painted.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much the same as it was.
Okay, so you graduated from high school in 1967, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened then? Did you have to go into the Army or?
No, I tried to go into the Army. They wouldn't take me.
They wouldn't.
I had flat feet.
Okay.
Now it don't matter what kind of feet you got now. They got something to straighten up, but no, they wouldn't take me then.
Mm. So is that when you started working for Bell South?
It's just a little after that, yeah.
So you went straight from high school?
Well, I had a little spaced out jobs, but my real job was Bell South. But we went to school for that when they opened.
Think about going to college?
Well, thought about it, and then I dropped it. So I decided to get a job
Right.
at that time.
Well, now, what did you do for Bell South? Did you have to go through a training program, or did?
Had to go through training. I was a lineman, so we had to, learn pole climbing and wires and all that. So went through a period of that learning, then they put us out in the field on our own.
And then Bell South goes through several changes over the years. Southern Bell.
Southern Bell, Bell South, AT&T, they just kept flip-flopping and changing. And
did that affect you at all?
no, the name just came with me.
Right, you just kept doing the same job?
Kept doing the same job.
How long were you able to climb poles? You still able to climb a pole?
Well, when I ended my little spurt with them, yes, I was, but I injured my ankle, and I wasn't able to climb, so I retired. My ankle just, one thing, I'm flat-footed, which is not good for climbing poles, and it just went out. So they had to fuse my ankle together, and I couldn't climb like that. So I got actually a disability because of that for the time that I would have worked.
What year did you retire?
That was, gosh, I can't.
2002, 2003, or was it late? That would have been 35 years from then.
Yeah, I can't really.
Yeah, anyway,
That
early
lost
part
me.
of the
There is
21st
somewhere in
century,
there.
somewhere
Yeah.
in there. And you've attended Zion Hill all your life?
Yes.
So
Yeah, like I said, my dad was a deacon here, and this is where we've been
yeah.
the whole life.
Talk about him being a deacon here. What all responsibilities went with that?
Well, with my dad, about everything, he cleaned it. Other than his deacon duties in the church, he stayed after, and he was a maintenance guy at the church. He was the lawn keeper in the church, and that was summer and winter. Whether breaking leaves or whatever, he was the man who took care of that.
Yeah.
And apparently he loved it. But our house was just a short stint from here, and I could walk from there to here. So.
What street did you live on?
It was Bell Street at the time. Yeah, and he would run home, ring the bell, because we always used to ring the bell out there. The bell tower was still there, and he'd come through that, then come back, get us, have a few minutes then we take us back over to church. We was in walking distance. There was an alley through there. So
Now, did they have mothers of the church?
Yes.
And that was your
my
mother?
mother, she
one
was.
of those?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And what all did they do?
That's basically at our fans and stuff. Wasn't no major stuff, but give fans and just took care of any needs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we was and we thought that was it.
Yeah. Now, you were, let's see, I think I've got that you had one brother and 4 sisters.
Correct.
Where were you of the 6 children?
I was number 2.
Number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the oldest?
My brother, he's James.
So you had 2 boys and then 4 girls?
4 girls, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we were the men of the house. We thought.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But yeah, we were basically men of the house at the time when my dad was out working and stuff. We played that role. I don't know how well we did it, but we kept everything intact. And my older sister, she was helpful, and then the young one, we had to wait a little while on them till they got up to really do something. But we was all really close knit. We had to really take care of each other. Yeah. At that time, also my dad would. This one thing he always did. At night, he make sure we all within the house at a certain time, just for dark, and he would bring us in, and he'll pray and thank the Lord that we all made it back safely. And that was a every night ritual. So that was, yeah. So.
Did your sisters go through North Cobb High School also?
Yes. One sister, she went 2 years there. Then she was married and went to Jeffersonville, Georgia. She finished up down there. So
Did your sisters was their experience at North Cobb any different than yours?
Yeah, there was basically a lot different. We were older, and they got basically used to the change. So it was not much of a problem. No. Yeah, my brother and I, we were just a year different, so we was kind of leading that out.
Did your brother go to North Cobb also?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And he was 1 year ahead of you?
1 year.
Okay.
No. Yeah, 1 year. Just 1 year.
So he graduated from North Cobb? Okay. And then you have 3 children of your own?
I have. Well, let me put it like this. I've got this deal where I've got, I say self-adopted kids that we grew close to, and I kind of accepted this one as my daughter. She was having some, in her younger days, her mother was having some problems, so I accepted her as my daughter. And that's what we go as now. And I don't exclude her. So she's, her name is Shawan. She's my daughter. Yeah. But and I think that come from I guess my mom and dad, because they take in anybody that needed to be taken in. So maybe that come from that.
Well, what has kept you in Ackworth all these years?
Well, I'm not just like Ackworth. I did move out for a short time in Cartersville, my first marriage, and that didn't go well. So I came back to Ackworth. And once I came back to Ackworth, it seemed like everything started. That just happened that way. But yeah, I wasn't ready to be married when I did, so that didn't work out. So I did move back to Ackworth, and that's where I am now. Had to go to I had to go a long ways for my wife. She, I actually met her on a cruise.
Oh, really?
We just accidentally run into each other, and
Where was she from?
gosh, that's amazing because she was up in gosh, that just slipped my mind. That does that sometime too. But gosh, that really slipped my mind.
But anyway, she moved down to Ackworth with you.
She moved to Ackworth when first of all, well, she had 2 kids and a young kid, so I had to, before we got married, I had to get to know them. So I let each one of them spend some time with me alone to see how that was gonna work, and that worked out pretty good. So we came together because, you know, if your kids are involved, you gotta bring them along too. So we just worked it that way.
How long have you been married?
19 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How has Ackworth changed over the years?
Well, the changes, there have been slight changes, but what's going on now has been the most recent, you know, the development going on. So we had it was just basically the same area for quite some time. And then basically all this new developments got to going, and it pretty much changed things.
Got a park next door.
Got a park, that's new there. Where that park is, it used to just be a grown-up area. We played out there. Sometimes they would cut the grass down. We could play out there and stuff when we were kids. But other than that, until they got the park in there, was no use there, except for just what we were doing there for us kids.
Yeah.
But the park, that's a great benefit, and it just give the kids something to do, because kids had to really didn't have anything, and we were just basically coming up with whatever we could do to entertain the kids, take them off somewhere. But now it's so great to have something here, and we're getting more just like some of the thing out there where you, whatever they're making it go over the railroad track. That was to me like unheard of. But I haven't seen it work yet though. But that's why I'm working on it today, early this morning. But that's something we used to. Hope my dad don't come back and spank me for this, but when he was working on the railroad, the trains going down, when they were going really slow, we would jump on and ride down the dangerous, it's all get out. But then we jump off when they got to going too fast. We never got caught, so we didn't get spanked for that. But that was just one of the things we did, you know, one of the kid things.
Sure. How many members do you have here at Zion Hill today?
Oh.
And maybe how many come on a Sunday morning?
It's not as crowded as it used to be. We used to have, the whole church was full, but things kind of dropped off. It's maybe sometime 2/3 of the church, sometime maybe half the church is full. You know, I guess.
Do you still do things with Bethel?
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever they're having a program or something there, I've used to go there. They, not the whole group, but just a few of us, and try to just support each other, because actually there's so few in this area now, and a lot of people that were here are starting to move out, and the newer people not really in love with this old church, except to come look at the old church. So the members are kind of few, what I would say. Some might say different there. But yeah, it used to be a grand church there. We had a choir that was, I'd say, out of sight. And people always, if they knew Zion Hill was coming to a church to sing. You know, they was always make sure they was there because we had some great singers. And I think maybe some of the newer age is not so into that,
Really?
but we still got a few real good singers here.
By the way, I don't see a baptismal place. Where did you go to get baptized?
Right outside there.
Outside?
But now it's still there, but we don't use it.
What do you do now?
There's a church down in Kennesaw we go up. Yeah. So, Sardis. So I don't know if we ever gonna get a baptism pool here.
So the pool is still there but not being used?
Right.
I'll have to go take a look at it after a while.
Yeah. It's out
So
there.
you didn't have to go to a creek to get baptized?
No, I was out there in the little pool out there.
Okay.
Yeah. I was really afraid at first because I couldn't swim, still can't swim. And I was going to have to go under the water because of full baptism. And it wasn't bad. But
They brought you back up.
They brought me back up. So
How old were you?
I'm thinking around 12 at the time. Yeah, but it wasn't bad. I just made up mind one day and stuck to it that I was going to be baptized. And took me in the water. The water was cold.
What time of year was it?
Gosh, it was warm weather. I don't know exactly what month of the year it was.
Cold water.
Cold water. Because they just put that fresh water in there and for the baptism, and it was cold. No, they didn't baptize in the winter or something like that. The water was just cold. It wasn't heated. But once you got it in, they dump you down under there. You come out, it wasn't as cold then. Yeah, once you get in the water, you get adjusted to it. But that's one of those times that I didn't know if I was going to ever be baptized with a young age, but my dad and mom, everybody was, looking forward to it, and we was always being taught, you got to be baptized, and so eventually one day I said, I want to be baptized. So I got baptized, and nothing to it.
Great.
Nothing to it.
Well, I'm about out of questions. Is there anything you'd like to add to the interview?
Not really I can think of. I was probably answering all your questions.
You did a great job.
'Cause, yeah, they say I'm not very talkative anyway. But yeah, I appreciate
that. For about 45 minutes, so that's pretty talkative.
Yeah, but you were pulling it out of me.
You have to tell them you were more talkative than they think you are.
Yeah. But I've enjoyed naturally living in that work because I only moved out for that short time, and I'm back here. Been back here for all these years, and my wife from Colorado, she's here. So I mean, I was like.
Oh, she was from Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay, you're trying to remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, so it came to me then. Yeah, but she just adjusted right to it and got a lot of friends down here, and she probably got more friends here than I have. She's just that type. Yeah. And I know this kind of off, but I always ask everybody to pray for her because she has cancer now.
Oh,
So we're battling with that.
sure.
Yeah, but she's not slowing down because she's one of these athletic types where she's climbing mountains and walking all these long distances and stuff. She's got a little crew where girls track, they call it, where a bunch of girls get out and try to encourage people to find the Lord. So that keeps it going. Yeah. So, but still, We have to keep prayers going. We have to pray whether you're well or sick, because you never know what it's going to be like.
Hope she has a complete recovery.
Yes, she seems to be doing well. But we just, like I say, keep her.
Sure.
But other than that, we've basically had a great life. I mean, not there'll always be some pits, and and I guess in everything, but as long as you come through it and don't let them grudge your mind.
Well, I've enjoyed talking to you, Mr. Griffin.
Well, same here. I could pick something out of there that's worthy.
I think so. Well,